And here's the writer's Allman Brother for Friday, June 19th, 2026. Juneteenth, the day in 1865 that 2,000 Union soldiers arrived in Galveston Bay, Texas, announcing all the slaves there were now free. This was 2 years, 5 months, and 19 days after the Emancipation Proclamation came into effect, and 155 years, 4 months, and 25 days before George Floyd was murdered in Minneapolis, which is when all of the white people in America learned Juneteenth was a thing. It would be another 363 days, June 17th, 2021, before white American President Joe Biden ratified Juneteenth as a national holiday, at which point he renamed himself Smokin' Joe and challenged his George Foreman grill to a bout of, quote, fisticuffs. Meanwhile, more than half the nation's white people wondered when they could start enslaving black people again. Answer, January 20th, 2025. It's the birthday of Malika al-Fassi, born 1919. Moroccan provocateur who roused rabbles with her writings. She was the only woman to sign Morocco's Proclamation of Independence, which made her the only independent woman in Morocco at the time. Ironically, all of the men who signed the document wore depends, and didn't tell anyone, kept it under the fez. She wrote under 2 different pseudonyms at least, calling for the right of women to be educated, and for the left of women to be inundated with consensual hand-holding. One of her articles was called "A Funny Thing Happened to Women on the Way to the Lycée." Subtitle, "They Got Catcalled. It Actually Wasn't Funny. It Was Predictable and Sad, like much of existence." It was on this day in 1936 that Max Schmeling knocked out Joe Louis at Yankee Stadium. But it's okay, because exactly 10 years later to the day, Joe Louis knocked out Billy Conn, also in Yankee Stadium, which was the first heavyweight fight ever broadcast on national television, or at least the first one sponsored by Gillette, the razor both men used to shave their keisters beforehand so they could experience, quote, a return to infancy upon stepping into the ring, smooth as a baby's brouhaha. This is officially the last time boxing will be mentioned in the episode. It was on this day in 1992 that Evander Holyfield beat the stuffing out of Larry Holmes. So sue me, what can you do me? And my shadow boxing. July 19th, 2019, a House subcommittee on the Constitution met to debate a slavery reparations bill. Among those to testify was actor Danny Glover. The committee chair said, "Thank you so much for being here, Mr. Glover. We loved your work in that TV show Community." That's Donald Glover, Mr. Chairman, said Danny Glover. "Yeah," said the chairman, "I don't know how you do it, balancing personas, Childish Gambino, the nerdy guy in Atlanta." "Again, Mr. Chairman," Danny said, "that's a different Glover. We're 2 distinct people." And just the range, the chairman went on. "The way you adapted that Mr. and Mrs. Smith movie for television." "Okay," Danny Glover said. "So A, that show won't exist for another 5 years. And B, I'm like 37 years older than Donald Glover. I was in The Color Purple when Donald Glover was still breastfeeding." "Well," said the chairman, "if the Glover doesn't fit." Here's a poem for today by Will Alexander entitled "The Ghost Survivor." Body by Drosera, by pure calliope as referent, as invaded mausoleum. The body then existing as standing cinder under threat, condensed, brought back to the soil as a sub-abandoned heresy, being a blue incarnivorous thought arrangement, under an orange-white dust next to a blank and verdigris spinning house. And this spinning house, brazen with tarantulas and probing, with its sun posts imploding, with its macaws and adders as regressive suborders. The body in this haze, an apparitional ballast, a half-form quaking, flowing through faceless compost arcana, calling out from jeopardous blindings, from disrupted falcons and armies, like salt without form, like general anthracite gone missing. The Ghost Survivor by Will Alexander. Used without permission here on the Writer's Allman Brother. Supported by Aperol Schwitz. A little extra tang on those really hot days. Sustainable, too. Until next week, be well, take this pill, and don't freak out.